The thing now is, see that thing about third parties. Third parties have saved a lot of situations, and they've also made situations worse. It's very relative, you know, because the kind of third party, who's the third party involved? There's some people that on their own would be unable to navigate the terrain, the rough terrain, either in a marriage or in a relationship. And a third party is what has, people would have testimonies about a third party is what kept them where they are. So it's relative, I feel. And I always say quite a lot, there are no absolutes in life, except when it involves deity. But a lot of things, you'd have to observe and think, who is the third party that's going to be involved? If both of us are inside, are we emotionally intelligent enough? Are we mature enough to handle this without a third party?
Third parties.
We might think we are.
Well, very true, because as they always say, you never really know what marriage is about until you get into it. That's one. And then it seems like our parents never actually tell us everything.
They can't.
Well, they can't.
You can't. Nobody can. Even if you want to, you'd have to fall. You'd have to stand up. You'd have to
make mistakes, I guess.
I remember this book from a very long time. I'd seen this book and I'd always knew that there was something wrong with the title. It was quite a popular book, 100 Unbreakable Laws of Business, Brian Tracy.
Wow. Okay.
You know, immediately, as much as it was a very popular book, immediately I came across the title. I knew there was something wrong.
Unbreakable laws of business, meaning that, of course, some laws are meant to be broken.
So maybe it had to do with the titling and all of that. But then there are a lot of times that we will learn by falling.
Okay,
in
so
fact,
it's really weird. So someone was asking me yesterday about this, and I said, I have a third party in my marriage, and they were looking at me like I was being weird. I said, third party is God. God is the only third party. So getting spiritual on it, on the matter, is very important, because at a point sometimes you don't have any other direction, and a lot of the time those family members, extended family, etc., they come into your world believing that they know a lot more about it, but then times are changing. For instance, now, if a grandparent says, why are your children in front of a computer right now, right? And you are trying to insist that you even buy more devices, and the grandparent is saying, no, this computer is too much. You know, it's like times have changed. So right now, the digital age is upon us, and children are learning a lot faster a new language through tech. And so this third party is saying, it's too much.
So in that regard, I would say semantics. Some people will not describe this as third-party interference.
It's in every, there's a fine line.
That's what you see. That's what I'm saying. It's it's the lines are blurred. They're not. It's not a straight divide. Do you understand? Somebody might not call this a third-party interference, and you might do it, and then especially when you said it's coming from somebody who is from the older generation, they might not understand, and so it is your prerogative at that point in time to say, to insist or do what you have to do.
But okay, let me figure out another scenario. What if the guy says he wants to stay home and look after the kids, and the lady says she wants to go out to work? And maybe one of the parents comes in and says, no, that's not how it's done. But guess what? You've decided to do it that way because it works for you.
At the end, it's your own marriage. You are the one that has the highest stake, and you have to do what you have to do. If it's not a good decision, let's hope that you can learn from it.
Okay, all right.
If it's not, definitely.
I'm feeling you on that.
Yes, in this kind of things, they are very relative. There's no hard and fast rule. There are no stuck in iron rules for all these kind of things.
Very true. Very true. But it'll be really interesting. We'll be having Toju Oluwatoyinbo joining us online to talk a bit more about that. And I have a feeling that conversation is going to really be important. You can go online and put in your comments. What do you think about third parties in a marriage? Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Let's take a quick break. Welcome back. It's about time for me to take the news update right now on Wake Up Nigeria. And it says the Senate stepped down the consideration of the 10.59 trillion naira revised 2020 budget, forwarded to it for consideration for a later date. This is because the Senate Parliament is yet to receive the report of the already considered revised 2020 budget from its Committee on Appropriation, as expected at Tuesday's plenary. The chairman of the committee, Senator Barau Jibril, disclosed that the 500 million naira, rather billion naira intervention fund for COVID-19 was not fully captured in the budget. Now, the 186 billion naira proposed for the health sector, as contained in the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, was also omitted in the revised appropriation bill. The chairman further disclosed that efforts to get the required documents from the budget office has not yielded any fruit in this regard. The Senate advised those concerned to comply without further delay.
So we put a call to the minister, explain to the minister that there's a need. If actually they want this money to be spent, there should be a letter telling us to include that into the bill. Then she promised that she was going to send a letter yesterday, and we waited to the end, up to the end of business yesterday. That letter has not come.
We have to insist on this, because when we simply put figures without a document supporting the inclusion, somebody will say we are padding the budget. And the National Assembly is castigated and in some cases even insulted. So you did the right thing by asking for a letter to that effect. I believe that the needful will be done by the executive.
And now to Kaduna State, where the government has amended its quarantine order to permit a reopening of the state after 75 days. Effective Wednesday, 10th of June 2020, the restriction of interstate movement will be lifted, subject to a nighttime curfew of 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The state governor, Nasir El-Rufai, in a statewide broadcast, says subject to compliance with safe reopening protocols, businesses can reopen and working hours will be 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. daily. Church services, according to the directive, will be allowed only on Sundays, such as mosques will be allowed to conduct only Friday Jumat services for the time being, subject to compliance with the safety stipulations in the guidelines. But the government says it is still unsafe for markets and schools to reopen.
Providers of personal services such as hairdressing and barbing salons can reopen, subject to satisfying health protocols. Hotels can fully reopen, with their restaurants and bars offering only room service. Restaurants may reopen after decontamination, but are still restricted to takeaway services only. Public servants will be summoned back to work in phases to be announced by the head of civil service of Kaduna State. This relaxation will be reversed in the event of a spike in COVID-19 infections or unsatisfactory compliance levels with the conditions, and total quarantine reimposed to preserve health and protect lives. As we further open up Kaduna State, our officials will continue to control border boundaries to reduce unauthorized interstate travel. Within the state, security checkpoints will be allowed only to enforce compliance with nighttime curfews. Daytime checkpoints are not allowed. During the day, any violations of the adjusted quarantine order, like failure to wear face masks, etc., will be enforced by Operation Yaki, Castelia, the Vigilance Service, and our mobile courts.
Countries should take active surveillance to ensure the coronavirus does not rebound, especially during mass gatherings of all kinds. This counsel is from the World Health Organization Director General. He spoke in Geneva and said that although the situation of COVID-19 pandemic in Europe is improving, globally it is worsening. The doctor noted that the cases in most African countries are increasing and some are occurring in new areas, adding that the cases in East Europe and some Central Asian countries are increasing as well. He reminded those who are carrying out mass gatherings to take precaution, and to those who are sick and or have suggestive symptoms of COVID-19 to stay home.
WHO fully supports equality and the global movement against racism. We reject discrimination of all kinds. We encourage all those protesting around the world to do so safely.
And that's all we have for the news at this hour. We have to hand over to Mike now. It's time for sports. All right. And guess who's back?
You really want to do that?
Back again. I've not seen you forever. If not for
You haven't seen me
COVID-19,
forever.
I would have given you a hug,
right?
It's great to have you on air.
Yep.
Yes.
Good to have him back.
Yeah,
It's good
it
to be
is.
back.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes, it
Great to
has.
have
How are
you.
the girls? How are they?
They're great. They're very well.
So what have you been up to all this while you've
Yeah.
been away? So,
What have you been
fill us in. There are a lot of people that are waiting for like.
More life hacks content.
Anthony, so that this particular one, your head was not showing. What happened?
What? Wow. Wow.
What happened? You
Really?
did?
Okay, wait.
You were so much, I don't know, so you were giving us some of your intricate
Wow. You went there.
cinematographic skills. You were more concerned. You know, I like the way you think. You know, you're more concerned. You see, it's about the content.
Content.
Exactly.
Not
It's
about
not
me.
my face. Not about me.
It's called
Content.
it's called converging focus. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, when you forget why you so,
Mike,
it's
please.
about
Can we pause
Yeah,
on that?
so it's about so it does not matter that your face doesn't show.
Exactly. I actually need to appreciate my brother, the youngest one. I mean, he was
He was
so
the one
amazing.
helping out with
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Alright,
like
cool.
every time that I'm, ready to shoot, the guy is always available.
Available, right?
Yes.
But so no cabin fever though, cabin fever being stuck in the house, because we were coming out because we had to come to work. At least
Okay, so
we
Titi,
had
when
fresh
you say
air.
that, can you make it seem like I've been spending the last 2 months at home and not coming to the
Okay,
office?
not 2 months. I'm just saying during the lockdown when you weren't with us, like what were you up to? What were you doing?
Spending time with the kids,
Okay.
creating content for my,
So you weren't tearing your hair out. No.
Why?
Because there were some people that were they were almost losing it. There were some people that were, yes, I saw some videos. No, I saw some videos. No, okay. I'm switching it up now. I'm not talking about MM. But I'm just talking about some videos we saw online of people. Some people will lie down on the floor, put their leg on the wall. Some people will be like looking for cobwebs where they're not supposed to look for them. Just people doing random things.
But I also think that it was a good time for a lot of people to rest. People actually, just wanted that time out to rest. As much as there were a few other people who were advocating for, suggesting for people to go to learn a few online
courses and stuff like that.
And then some people like, hey, come on. I mean, you never get this chance to sleep and rest. So please, if you want to go all out, But then I actually wanted to learn a few online courses.
Yeah, but
it
didn't
work out.
With the kids, it's not that easy though. They'll pop into the room, probably press the computer or whatever. They'll just distract you from those things. But some people were able to do it, and hey, maybe it worked for them. For them.
Okay,
Yeah.
So there's something that I saw. I think it was Juliet Ibrahim who made mention. She went somewhere. Okay, so there has been a lot of emphasis on the Black Lives Matter movement.
Of course.
And then there's something she mentioned. I'd seen this in a particular movie sometime. I can't remember the movie, where a Hispanic said, I have a problem. A black Hispanic, in quoted. I go to the white guys and I am not accepted because I'm not white enough. And then I go to the black guys and then the black guys are saying, you are white.
Yeah.
Because maybe I look like MM or something, like I'm very fair or something, for instance. And she was like, it's a problem for those who are mixed. Because a lot of people tend to see life in binaries, zeros and ones. We tend to always, but we don't know, but we have to understand that, we need to understand that there's a lot of gray areas, you understand? So she mentioned that in spite of all of this, it's like, okay, black and white, but then those people who are
mixed.
You guys are quite fair.
So in some countries...
So what I'm saying is that she just called attention to it and said, look, man, at times for them, it's hard because they come here and like, you're not really us, man. You need melanin.
So that's been on for a long time. For instance, if you go to South Africa now, it's actually considered really wrong to say someone is mixed race. The person is colored in quote. And once someone is colored all over the world, the person is considered black, right? Even the movie For Colored Girls, made reference to black women. So,
but Tessa Thompson wasn't black too. She's not black.
Well, really, you see what I'm saying? There's a fine line. But from colonial times, once, I hate saying it this way, once the blood had been tainted, and I say tainted, in all those old movies, they say, you know, it's been mixed with, it's not a pure blood, right? It's always considered black. So for Juliet and, you know, her family, they have very fair skin, they have the really long curly hair and everything. They can probably just try and find their own place to stay, you know? They can find their own place to stand on this movement. So people have made choices. You have to take a side. You can't just be on the fence.
Don't take any side. Don't be on any fence.
Wow.
What is most important here is we are one. We are human. What is most important here? I think the only race that supersedes all of colors, black, white, mixed, red, whatever, is we're all human.
You're gonna have to take a side at some point.
No. I mean,
you know why? You have to, once you experience the racism, you end up taking a side.
So when you say take a side, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
So take a side to stand up for the rights of a certain people.
We are
so
for instance, for the rights of humans, human rights.
I hear you on that, but guess what? Humans over the past, 100 years have been treated differently for so many reasons.
Yeah, but does that make that right? No, it doesn't.
Nobody's saying it makes it right, but the truth is, if you don't stand up for one side that's, you know, feeling neglected, you'll never get anything done. So let me give you a scenario. Do you know what it's like when you walk into a public bathroom that has 6 toilet stalls and you're washing your hands, you're done in the bathroom, all the stalls are empty, and a white woman or white man comes to the door, the entrance of the main toilet, and refuses to enter, even though there's 6 empty stalls and you're washing your hands, you're about to leave, and the person refuses to enter. That person doesn't even want to be in the same space with you. That's when you realize that it is it's a lot deeper. It's more ingrained in their system than you could ever imagine. So you have to take a side. You have to defend.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we had more time, I would have, I would expatiate, but I feel like when you say take a side, I understand where you're coming from. To some other people, it might not come out as that. Yeah. You're talking about standing up for.
Yes.
Helping to try to
balance,
equalize, you understand, but yeah, we'll talk more about this. There's still more time on other shows and all of that. It's what's happening. We'll just take this short break now. We'll be back with birthday shoutouts.
An exciting 1 hour just flew by. It just went by like that. And because the show is always packed full of so much.
And we got one more hour, 45 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And welcome. This is the second lap of your numero uno breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. There's still so much more to come on the show. Just stick with us.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
You need to. Now, our kitchen just yesterday reopened. You know, we've been having chefs record their kitchen segments from home. Yeah. But from yesterday, we started having chefs back in the studio. And that's happening again today. Can you give a warm welcome to the one, the only, Chef Mary Jane!
You guys are just making me blush. It's really great to be back.
It's so good to have you back, Mary Jane.
It's really wonderful.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I tell people she's making something very interesting. Like, I've never heard of this before, but hey, we are keeping our fingers crossed. We are not spilling the beans.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it.
Well, spilling the beans, is that a hint that there's beans?
No, it's not a hint.
There was beans yesterday, so okay, all right. But then as things improve in different parts of the country and the world also at large, please remember, follow all health guidelines and the fight against the coronavirus. My name is Mike Messikeno.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyinson. Make sure you stream the show live if you need to move around. tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
You can also download our app and be a part of this. It's available on Android and iOS and watch us anywhere around the world.
Yes, indeed. So, you're watching us for a reason. There's so much still to come on the show. You can watch all these exciting episodes on YouTube. You can watch from YouTube and on YouTube, I guess. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep, TVC Entertainment.
Yeah.
TVC Entertainment. Just once you tap TVC, it's going to pop out there, and just subscribe, and then you can watch episodes, you can watch segments on YouTube.
Episodes from years ago.
From years back,
You
and
can
also
go back.
just scroll back, or you can check your search filter. You can switch it up from older videos to latest ones, and you can get back and check it out. Okay?
It's gonna be fun.
All right. Of course, apart from our chef who is already around, who you've met.
Wow, the way you said caught, like as if it was on the road.
This is not even an FBI. This is Interpol.
Interpol.
And so,
Wow.
as it is reported, it is said that some funds that were diverted for ventilators for COVID-19, that the monies,
$5 million.
that the monies were passed through some accounts, and they've been fingered.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
So
after
according
months of investigation by the FBI, he was eventually caught with his pale, his friend, Woodbury, and
So we'll probably hope that maybe we can get an official statement from Interpol or the FBI to let us know exactly what the things are, you know. But what do I say about this? He is known for flaunting. His very grandiloquent lifestyle on social media, and I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. As it evolves, we'll let you know. But it's time for us to take the news.
I don't even know where to begin. First of all, the COVID-19 aspect, the ventilators. You know, the fact that it was connected, this whole story has something to do with COVID-19 ventilators inside. I'm like, okay, wait.
It has that feel to it.
I don't know, it just makes me feel like, okay, let's pause and wait for official statements to come out and hear exactly what happened there, because, you know, health equipment, I don't know, well, people, let's leave it, let's let it go. I'll be taking the news update at this point. And the Senate stamped down the consideration of the 10.59 trillion naira revised 2020 budget, forwarded to it for consideration for a later date. This is because the Senate Parliament is yet to receive the report of the already considered revised 2020 budget from its Committee on Appropriation as expected at Tuesday's plenary. The chairman of the committee, Senator Barao Jibril, disclosed that the 500 billion naira intervention fund for COVID-19 was not fully captured by the budget office. The 186 billion naira proposed for the health sector, as contained in the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, was already omitted in the revised appropriation bill. The chairman further disclosed that efforts to get the required documents from the budget office has not yielded any fruit in this regard. The Senate advised those concerned to comply without further delay. Now to Kaduna State, where the government has amended its quarantine order to permit a reopening of the state after 75 days. Effective Wednesday, 10th of June 2020, the restriction of intrastate movement will be lifted, subject to a nighttime curfew of 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. The state governor, Nasir El-Rufai, in a statewide broadcast, says subject to compliance with safe reopening protocols, businesses can reopen and working hours will be 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. daily. Church services, according to the directive, will be allowed only on Sundays, such as mosques will be allowed to conduct only Friday Jumat services for the time being, subject to compliance with the safety stipulations in the guidelines. But the government says it's still unsafe for the markets and schools to reopen. More than $182 million is needed to sustain life-saving aid to Africa's most populous country over the next 6 months. Northeast Nigeria has been plagued by a decade-long insurgency that has spilled over into the Lake Chad region. Senior spokesperson of the World Food Programme, Elizabeth Beers, says the region remains among the most severe humanitarian crises in the world, with some 7.9 million, mainly women and children, in need of urgent assistance today. Needs are great nationally too, the United Nations agency has warned, linked to a steep drop in international oil prices, Nigeria's major export commodity, since the outbreak of the virus. More than 3.8 million people, mainly working in the informal sector, face losing their jobs amid rising hardship. And this could rise to 13 million if movement restrictions continue for a longer period. The media office of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress has denied that there is tension brewing between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Rauf Aregbesola, the current Minister of Interior. This statement was made to put an end to an online media report misinterpreting the dissolution of all factional groups within the APC in Lagos State. In a statement issued, the disbandment of factional groups within the party was to promote discipline, harmony, and cohesion aimed at engendering party supremacy. As a result of this clarification, the APC is said to be united without any factions. There is no going back in the determination of the national leadership of the All Progressives Congress to thoroughly screen aspirants as it has assembled lawyers, technocrats, and university dons to scrutinize aspirants for the Edo State governorship election. Speaking while inaugurating the screening and appeals committees at the party's secretariat, National Chairman Adams Oshomole admitted that the party has not been thorough in scrutinizing aspirants previously, adding that screening has been just mere formalities. He announced that the National Working Committee, NWC, has the final say in determining the qualification of the aspirants to contest the governorship party primaries. He added that the incidents of Bayelsa State governorship happened because the deputy governor was a serving senator, noting that he went through the screening of the party and that of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, just for mere formalities. And that's it on the news updates for this hour. Stay tuned. It's time for sports. Welcome back. It's about time for us to take a look at the headlines in the dailies this morning. And we're starting with the Nation newspaper at this point. It says, Lagos APC bans mandate, Justice Forum, other groups. Groupings inimical to unity, say party leaders. It also says here, Edo 2020, Obaseki, Izeyamu, others face screening panel. NWC's final decision says Oshomole, decision final, says Oshomole. And Ondo 2020, APC begins sale of forms. Nigeria records highest COVID-19 cases, and CDC announces 663. And on Nimasa, pirates working with foreign allies, UN hails agency, Navy. And I'll wrap with this one. It says, estimated billing, NERC to punish Eko Ikeja discos, others. And of course, you can see there on the global COVID-19 cases there, it's hit globally 7,279,460 with a death toll of 412,040 people. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
And then on to the Punch. Oshomole Obaseki extend award to governor's varsity certificate. The first annotation there goes on to say, contact UI to confirm Obaseki's certificate. APC chair directs panel. And the second one says, tell Nigerian varsity you attended, Edo governor tells predecessor. And the picture story there is one of the burial of George Floyd. Hundreds in attendance as George Floyd buried next to mother in Houston. That will take you to page 10 and sad pictures there. Just underneath that, the jump line says Osun lecturers demand 30-month arrears of half salaries. And that takes you to page 8. Burundi president dies of heart attack at 55. Strike. Federal government approves health workers hazard allowance and insurance cover. We spoke about this yesterday with the doctor during the health segment. And this is good news. It's good news. Tinubu denies fighting Aregbesola. Lagos APC bans party groups. Ogun man arraigned for raping physically challenged girl. Reps demand probe of Nigerians' 77-day detention by Chinese firm. All of this and a little bit more on the front page of The Punch.
I also have another paper with me. It's the Daily Sun next. Edo Guba Obaseki, Izeyamu, others face tough hurdle. Lawyers, technocrats make up panel to screen APC aspirants. Ohaneze youths give herdsmen 2 weeks to leave southeast forests. Condemn exclusion of zone in federal government's loan spending. NERC gives 7 discos 14 days to provide meters to customers. Gbajabiamila rejects estimated billing system. Kalu resumes in Senate, urges Nigerians to keep hope alive. Protests rock Katsina over killings, abductions. Residents demand firmer action against bandits. Burn APC billboards. And I'll wrap with this. No going back on NDDC probe, says Senate. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
Then on to The Guardian. We have here Senate steps down 10.509 trillion naira revised 2020 budget. The writer, first one says, knocks presidency over omission of 186 billion naira health vote. Probes moribund paper mills to review importation of published books. There's a picture there of the Vice President, Yemi Oshibanjo, virtually commissioning a 200,000 capacity yam storage facility at Zakibiam in Benue State yesterday. There's also a picture here of Rodney Floyd and his brother, Philonis Floyd, at the funeral service for their late brother, George Floyd. Confusion over bid rounds for 57 oil fields. The writer there says, DPR assures investors of fairness. Niger Delta demands right of first refusal. Okay. And just take refugee crisis in Nigeria, Cameroon, and 8 others, world's most neglected. The first jump line takes you to page 3. Lawan decries diversion of ecological funds. El Rufai urges proper management. Again, Gbajabiamila opposes estimated billing for electricity consumers and dawns to screen certificates of Obaseki and 5 others. That jump line takes you to page 30. That's all on the cover of The Guardian.
We have the Nigerian Tribune newspaper up next. It says here, COVID-19 versus primaries. Edo APC factions fight over Obaseki's Gazette. Oshomole inaugurates a screening committee, says party must avoid Bayelsa scenario. INEC affirms direct primary for APC. And I'll wrap with this one on the anti-piracy war. UN commends Nigerian Navy, NIMASA. Pirates in Gulf of Guinea bolstered by international collaborators, says Jame. That's what we have on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune.
That's it on the headlines for the papers that we can take. We just have to fitness, right?
Yeah.
You got fitness. Yep, fitness coming right up.
Fitness segment. I am Classic Benga. Today we're going to be doing more of stretches. Stretches are important, especially if you work out during the week and you feel some body pains. So I'm going to be doing lots of stretches and work a little bit on our abs. So for our stretches, we'll start with this. You stretch your leg all the way to the back. Go. Hold the position. I'm going to be counting 1 to 20, then we'll change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. Stretch again all the way to the back. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, people. And guess who we have in the kitchen today? I know we properly introduced her, but this, our chef today, she needs like some red carpet reception because, I mean, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here. It's really awesome. After a whole God knows how long of lockdown.
Right, I know.
It's something else.
I
What
know,
we think
and you've been busy throughout the lockdown. You had some interesting things, but we'll talk about that later on.
Okay.
Let's move over to our recipe for today. What are we making?
Okay, we're making ukwa today.
Ukwa. What's the
Ukwa.
meaning of ukwa?
Ukwa is breadfruit.
Okay, it's an Igbo.
Yeah, it's an
meal,
Igbo,
right?
of course. Any Igbo that hears ukwa is going to like. It's a special delicacy. It's not something you just get up and cook because it's quite not very easy to find if you're not in an Igbo land.
Okay.
Okay, but as I said earlier, it's a special delicacy. Now, ukwa, I'm sure you've watched the movie Akin Ukwa. That one is the palm nut and the roasted ukwa.
Okay.
But this is different. This is the fresh ukwa.
So let's talk about the recipes. I'm
Okay.
sorry, the ingredients.
The ingredients here, okay, we have the ukwa. This is what the ukwa looks like. This is a fresh one. It's
So
been
I can
dehubbed.
find this in the market, right?
Not every market. It's not easy to find.
Okay.
That's the challenge.
Okay. I guess if I want to make this, then I'll call you.
Yeah, of course. You just have to.
Okay, so what do we
this
have
is
here?
shredded cassava.
Shredded
Okay, that same thing you use in making abacha. That same cassava, tapioca.
Okay. Tapioca. Oh,
all of
okay.
the above, you know. That's it. I'll be using it to make.
So it looks dry though.
Yes, I'm still going to use warm water to soften it.
Okay.
And sorry, I forgot to mention, this is a particular kind, or rather way of making this particular meal. Okay. Even myself, I don't know the name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But we are calling it ukwa.
No, it's ukwa,
Okay.
but the way it's being made is different. Normally, you can have this just white.
Okay.
You can make it porridge like beans, like porridge beans. But this one, I'm making it with a mixture of abacha. The same way you make abacha. The difference is that you're going to have ukwa in it mixed.
All right, so let's move over to the
we
other
have our grounded crayfish here. We have a pepper, although I've already grounded it here.
Okay.
And there's onions and yellow and green peppers.
Okay.
Then this is potash. Okay, this potash is actually different. This is not a cow.
Okay.
This is called ungo.
Ngo.
Ungo is made from burnt palm frond.
Okay.
Okay, then I have my red oil and I have my onions. The good thing about ungo, which is different from normal akau or limestone, is that no matter what you do with ungo, you can't have a runny tummy.
Okay.
It will never happen.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my stockfish. I'm going to use it to make my my ukwa. Then I have salt and
Your seasoning cube.
seasoning cube. That's
Okay,
about it.
this seems really, really interesting.
I can't even wait to have it myself.
I've never had ukwa before, so
This first experience will be.
I really, really, really hope so. I'm really looking forward to it. So
Yes.
what's cooking?
Okay, that's the ukwa, the white one. We've
Okay.
already, I already started cooking it. This is what it looks like when it's cooked. You can actually eat it like this. Just put a little salt and it's already a delicacy on its own. But I'm going to be cooking this with that, and I'm also still going to serve the white one with its, I won't call it syrup.
I'm
it's
getting
water.
a bit confused here. So now in the pot we have our
Yes,
ukwa
yes.
and our dried cassava, yes?
No.
Okay, not that.
No,
Okay.
not at all. It's just the ukwa alone.
Okay, so we have to boil that till it's really
It's
soft,
soft,
yes? Okay.
yes.
Then,
Like if you were making beans or something, yeah.
Okay.
Then we now start doing the mixtures.
Okay.
I really would want someone to help me with the name of this thing.
well, let's just move on.
Anyway,
I'm sure
something my
eventually
mom
you-
always did when my mom used to make it when we were kids,
Kids, okay.
especially when maybe my dad was celebrating something. Normally we eat ukwa normal, but when she starts doing, know that there's something
Okay.
celebrated.
All right, great.
So I really don't know its name, so that's it.
I know it will come.
It will come.
I know
It will
it will
come.
definitely come.
It will come.
Okay, but for now we know that it is dried cassava flakes.
Yes,
right?
the
Great.
same one you use in making abacha.
Okay.
Tapioca.
Tapioca.
Yeah, the dried one. That's it.
All right. So what's next?
Right now, we're just going to make, get this to get done. Oh, I didn't remember to tell you. I've already made the sauce I'm going to serve my ukwa with.
Okay.
I used mangala fish.
You know, I've always heard of mangala, but I have never tasted it. Maybe I have,
Okay.
but I just don't know
Didn't
that
know it
it's
was
called mangala.
It's not for everybody. They call it the rich man's fish, but don't mind them. Everybody can eat it. So I had
Sorry,
already
I had
made
a
the
rich
sauce.
man's meal today.
Don't mind me. But everybody has it. There are different sizes and prices to it, but it's just something you use for festivities or a special.
Okay. So this looks like a really simple and
Actually,
easy
very
meal?
simple and easy. Very simple and easy. The only thing is make sure where your hygiene is important, you place it, because ukwa comes with a lot of stones, just like beans and rice.
Okay.
We need to get you ready.
Very, very interesting stuff happening here in the kitchen this morning. I am really excited. Our ukwa is cooking,
Yep.
and it'll be ready to go really soon. All right, but till then, there's still interesting stuff happening here on the show. Next up, we have some very funny videos we'd like you to see.
Hello and welcome back to the kitchen. And the kitchen is really busy and energetic this morning. We have
Yes, it
the
is.
amazing Chef Mary Jane in the building.
Hi, once more.
Chilling and cool.
As in,
It feels good to really be out after a very long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, like socially out, like out.
But you have been going out and about, though. You've been working on a very interesting project. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Okay, I didn't know how to do that, but I've been feeding disadvantaged children in my community in the past 9 Sundays on the roll.
Wow.
Next Sunday is going to be the 10th. We feed them, we give them free face mask, and also we sensitize them, or rather teach them on COVID-19, teach them how to wash their hands properly, use of sanitizers, and also symptoms and things they should look out for. And that's what I've been doing with help from, financial help from family, friends, and well-wishers, really.
Okay, so you know, it's a lot of people have been doing things like this, you know, a lot of outreach programs. But when you started yours, I know that a lot of you were called out by a lot of people like, Mary Jane, what are you doing? You know, did you have any fears about being exposed or anything?
I did, but you know, as a chef, I'm also a food safety manager, and there are certain guidelines when it comes to cooking one has to follow. And I felt the fact I'm a chef doesn't make me not to be a frontliner. I'm a frontliner in any way you want to look at it. What's important is remain safe, take the basic precautions you need to, max up, wash up, and everything will be fine. And so far, so good. It's been not too bad.
How many kids are we talking about?
Oh, we fed a total of 4,500 children.
Whoa!
Yeah, and we're looking at
I think
huge.
that deserves a round of applause right
I
there.
mean,
wow.
this is really commendable, commendable. And the fact that you're going around, you know, enlightening kids, children, very important on personal hygiene. I mean, this is amazing. Kudos.
Well done.
Kudos.
It couldn't have been easy.
I mean,
oh
I
goodness.
still thank God for the support I get from friends, family. It's been awesome.
So you said the 10th one is this
Next
weekend?
Sunday.
So are you wrapping it up with the 10th, or are you going to keep going?
I'm not sure. This thing actually makes me happy. It makes me happy just doing it. So I'm not sure if I'll be ending it in this 10th one or I should go ahead. I'm really not sure till after Sunday.
All right, fantastic.
how often do you do this though?
Every Sunday. Okay, normally I used to feed disadvantaged children Easter and Christmas. But last Easter, I wasn't able to because that was when COVID-19 started. And I was like, okay, this is really when they need me. So we can do this for this COVID-19. We really couldn't do it in that Easter because we're not sure of passes and all that, but we're able to sort it out by the 19th. And we went out for the first time on the 19th and we fed 1,500 children on the 19th.
Oh, goodness me. That's a lot of work. And
So you just pick any area in Lagos State or?
Because of the same COVID-19, we had restrictions to areas we could go to outside our local government.
Okay.
I stay at Iju Road, so I just took areas in Iju Road all the way down. We've been able to visit 12 different locations. That is excluding the streets, but you know, basic points. So we've been able to do 12 of it just around me.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done.
No, really.
I mean, I am challenged. Well done,
Thank you.
I mean,
And thanks for coming back to talk to us about it.
Yeah, I mean, our okwa is cooking though.
Yes, it is. So let Chef Mary Jane get back to you. But has some tricks up her sleeve. Okay, she's not wearing sleeves today. So
right.
It doesn't work.
I have magic tricks. I'm going to be working some. Anyway, it's not magic basically. It's just a few tricks that you could learn that you could incorporate into, your everyday, routine in the kitchen, whatever. So I'm just going to be showing you a few kitchen hacks this morning. And, well, I'm going to be bantering, of course, with Chef Mary Jane and Titi because, we are women. We spend most of the time, or some of our time in the kitchen as well. So,
sometimes crying too.
Yeah. Okay, so Chef Mary Jane, I'm going to start with you. This happens to us all the time when you're like cutting your onions. And how do you...
Where's the salt?
Which salt?
Which salt, right?
You want to cut onions now, the thing we...
But do you know that when cutting your onions, to avoid or to prevent, tears from dropping or to prevent onions from making you cry, what you could do is put a slice of bread in your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
While yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know what it actually does? What the bread does is it actually absorbs the vapor from the onions that makes you teary.
This is another one.
No, you should try it. You should try it instead of, salt, really. I would never take salt.
Okay.
There's some of us that are trying to cut down on salt in our food. So,
but us, we're already used to cutting onions, so we don't used to know if it used to enter our eyes.
This would actually help to absorb,
all the slice of bread in your mouth.
Yes.
And you just hold it there while you're chopping.
Your onions.
Kind of bread matter.
All right.
No, bread is bread.
I just wanted to be sure.
All right. So a second hack I'll be teaching you this morning is I'm just going to move these onions. Maybe put it close to your eyes. All right. So, there are times where when you have your boiled egg and then you want to cut it and then it breaks. It just could be a mess. What you can do is take your knife and put it in cold water.
So cold water, like refrigerated cold water, or just room?
Cold water.
Okay.
Yeah, not room temperature, cold water. So you dip your knife in cold water and then you use it to cut then you could use the knife to cut your egg. Okay. And then you can see how smooth it looks. So it avoids the egg yolk from breaking.
Okay.
Which could, it can be a mess. I've had issues with that like several times, and I use this trick and it works. Yeah.
Okay, so make sure your knife is cold. Cold water.
Yeah.
Helps you slice boiled eggs
better and smoother. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Then, how do you preserve your pasta or your spaghetti when you bring it out when you open it, when you bring it out of the...
That actually happens.
Because I used to use 1.5 packets in the house. So what happened to
exactly. Where do you put the remaining half?
You do to the remaining half.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to teach you today another way to preserve your spaghetti or your pasta. Okay. So, what I have done here already is I have 2 plastic bottles. If you notice, one is, taller, bigger than the other. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my pasta, which I've taken out of the pack, in it. And I'm going to cover it.
Okay.
Up.
Like that.
In a case where it doesn't, you could just break it.
Okay.
Oops.
But my kids love
some people think it's really like a very strong person that can break spaghetti like that.
Kids love that part.
I'm very strong.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is take the other half and cover it up nicely.
So if you don't have one of those airtight sealed containers, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, you could do this. You could use use 2 plastic bottles, cut them open and seal them up nicely. So you have to do this carefully, but make sure that the other half enters the other one. See?
Yeah, so I almost bought a spaghetti container for like almost 3.5. This is
when you could have just used 2 empty plastic bottles.
Water with sis.
Thank you.
And this looks really nice. I mean, it's mine.
It does.
So I'm so proud of this. I promise you.
Really nice.
When I learned of this hack, I was like, oh my world, oh my world. I mean, some of these hacks are just quite easy, and they just make life easier.
The worst is I can even see it. I'll just leave it on the table. Do you know, sometimes I even forget that I had one half spaghetti
somewhere, right?
Well, as it is like this, by the time you drop it in the pantry or where you keep your
in your cabinets, it looks really nice.
It just woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And it's just easy to assess, like,
yes,
you know.
You just keep seeing it on your face.
Thank you, Emma,
So that's
for that
it
one.
on my hacks for today. I hope you guys have been able to learn one or two things, though. I know Titi has been
I'm
able to learn
looking at that
something.
cucumber and that lime there.
Okay, so I wasn't exactly sure if, well, anyways, now that you've mentioned it, maybe I should just go to it. Okay, so what happens when you cut open a cucumber or an orange and you don't know what to do with the remaining half?
Oh, okay.
Interesting to know.
So once it's sliced, I don't know, I probably have to find a bag, you know, and wrap it up. All right, Mary Jane, is that what you do? I don't know, or you find a container or something?
Nigerian food.
Okay, so what you can just do is you can take the, let's say you have your two halves, yeah?
Half a
And
lime,
let's say
yeah.
you've taken one half. What you can do is the other half, you put it on the half that you haven't taken,
Okay.
and then you use a toothpick to hold it together.
For real?
Like,
Yeah.
it's easy. Like, who would have
And
told?
you just hold it together?
Yeah.
So you're saying it will still stay fresh?
Yes, it will still stay fresh, and then you put it in the
Because
fridge.
the second one is still moisturizing
Exactly,
the
the other one.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's
All
cool.
right, so I'm sorry. All right, so thank you so much for that one. Chef Mary Jane has been cooking, you know,
yes.
and we need to just get a quick update on what's happening with the meal.
Okay.
What's happening now? What's happening now?
Okay, so I'm making the pottage for the okra.
Okay.
Next thing we'll be going into is making the ncha for the abacha.
Okay.
What's ncha?
Ncha is
So
a
you wanna
mixture
bring those?
of, yes, I'm going to bring them out.
I'm just going to
now.
clear this out so that to create more space to
Cha.
accommodate our
that's-
other ingredients.
So what did you do to the ncha before?
Just a second, I'll be back.
All right, so if you're just joining us, people, we have Chef Mary Jane here in the kitchen, and we are making okwa. Yes, it is an Igbo recipe, and it's quite interesting, guys. Quite an interesting recipe.
Definitely going to be tasting this one. This one I must taste. Chef Mary Jane is in the building.
Yes.
What's not to love? It's still Wake Up Nigeria. We still have so much more coming your way. Make sure you stay right there. We'll be back in a bit. Now, the first 2 hours of the show has been nothing short of fabulous. The next 45 minutes is definitely going to be worth your while.
I would say fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
Okay, welcome. It's the final lap of your numero uno breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. Now, if you just tune in, welcome. It's about the best thing happening on television at this point in time. I am Mike Mexican.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Now, you have the option of streaming this show online live. TVCentertainment.tv is our website, and we're on Facebook Live also at TVC Connect.
Head on to our social media pages, send in your comments, use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, so that hashtag, make sure you have it right there, Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. And just keep it in your back pocket and bring it out whenever you want to make a comment. We really appreciate those. But you can also watch our exciting episodes, past episodes and future ones too, on YouTube.
Yep.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's TVC Entertainment.
Yep, episodes, segments and all of that.
Yeah.
You can watch them online.
As a pet lover, would you consider owning a pet monkey, perhaps? I had a chat with pet enthusiast at Posh Paws Giants Veterinary Clinic, and it was really interesting to find out about these very confusingly cute animals.
We'll wrap up the show with a relationship expert who will be talking to us about the effect of third party in marriage.
Yes, Toju Oluwatoyinbo is going to be joining us on that one. And yeah, that's a topic that we've been looking forward to. So how come
parties.
nobody has mentioned the fact that I went to go and look at monkeys?
You know, I find monkeys to be really cute. Yes, I actually, and they're really smart. They're one of the, you know, they're smart. They're quite intelligent, and I like that about them. I really wish I could have a monkey as a pet. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
We have this, how do I put it now? There's a way a lot of people feel, especially black people, because that is one term that has been used to
Describe us.
disparage a lot of black people a lot. So they feel somehow. A number of times when you talk to them about monkeys and all of that, you know. But then, if you believe in the theory of evolution and Darwinism and all of that, then they are the forerunners, you know, of we ourselves who are human beings. So
They're the mammal that is closest in, let's say, resemblance
to humans.
So it is said that by that theory, we came from them, and you know,
Homo sapiens.
So yeah, so you know, it does. What I'm saying is that when you just that monkey, the monkey, it does bring conflicting and different kinds of things that just go through your mind. You know, just go through your mind a lot. So I'm saying for me now, just many things.
I'm not sure if I would have a monkey as a pet because of how mischievous I remember them being. I went to Unilag, and in Unilag there's a place where some trees hit one of the classroom buildings. Then I don't know if they've cut those trees down now. Okay. Very close to the waterfront, and those monkeys used to go into the classrooms and just take stuff. Yeah, they used to, and it was just like, so when you see a monkey, just grab all your things and keep them somewhere.
Because they were stealing them, right?
Yeah, they could just pick it up and move. So some people used to say, oh, maybe they sent the monkey, that someone was training it, and it was going to deliver these things to people. You never know.
They do.
And some think maybe the monkey just has a nest somewhere and is just keeping all the things. You don't know.
When you look at the story of Aladdin and Abu,
the monkey.
So it does happen now. You can train them well to pick things and drop it. I like very well. So
They
you know,
like
that's so the whole monkey thing. So but me, I'm looking at the pets that in case a push comes to shove, the kind of pets that you know, can do more.
That will defend you, have you?
Defend care.
What? A monkey defend you.
Like rabbits.
Wow, Mike, really?
A rabbit?
You want to, you want to eat the pet? Really? Really?
What note?
When push, it's just like
rabbits
pet
are
chicken.
really sweet.
Yes, no.
Oh,
Rabbits
sweet.
stew, right? You just have a pet chicken.
They're just too cute for me. I can't imagine eating rabbits. Just the cuteness is just.
Don't imagine it. Don't imagine.
My fondest memory of a rabbit was in secondary school when we had to use it as, I mean, the bones, you know, as for biological practical. Yeah, and man, you will see the way everyone was scavenging for the meats. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I couldn't eat it then because then I was like,
you know, like you've taken grass cutter, right?
Well, yeah, bushmeat.
You've not taken grass cutter?
Really?
What?
Well, Mike, I remember when I traveled to you in February, I had dog meat for the first time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Hey, did you hold you? Hold you.
Y'all need to stop this.
Did you hold you?
Our pet segment.
The oil coming out from that.
Our pet segment is.
Did you hold you?
Care of animals.
I'm telling you, like, you need to hold me right now.
You?
Everything you're doing here is making me want to turn to a vegetarian.
It will take you to the 10th heaven.
So, I have a feeling I might turn to a vegetarian because of everything you just said.
Vegetarian,
Dog, just stop. Oh, okay. Man's best friend, really?
Man, it was welcoming in my tummy.
You know what? On that tasty note, I'm going to take the news update at this point. The Senate stepped down the consideration of 10.59 billion naira revised 2020 budget, forwarded to it for consideration at a later date. This is because the Senate Parliament is yet to receive the report of the already considered revised 2020 budget from its Committee on Appropriation as expected at Tuesday's plenary. The chairman of the committee, Senator Barao Jibril, disclosed that the 500 billion naira intervention fund for COVID-19 was not fully captured by the budget office. The 186 billion naira proposed for the health sector, as contained in the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, was also omitted in the revised appropriation bill. The chairman further disclosed that efforts to get the required documents from the budget office had not yielded any fruits in this regard. The Senate advised those concerned to comply without further delay. Now to Kaduna State, where the government has amended its quarantine order to permit a reopening of the state after 75 days. Effective Wednesday, June 10, 2020, the restriction of intrastate movement will be lifted, subject to a nighttime curfew of 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. The state governor, Nasir El-Rufai, in a statewide broadcast, says subject to compliance with safe reopening protocols, businesses can reopen, and working hours will be 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. Church services, according to the directive, will be allowed only on Sundays, such as mosques will be allowed to conduct on Friday, only Friday Jumat services for the time being, subject to compliance with the safety stipulations in the guidelines. But government says it's still unsafe for markets and schools to reopen. More than $182 million is needed to sustain life-saving aid to Africa's most populous country over the next 6 months. Northeast Nigeria has been plagued by a decade-long insurgency that has spilled over into the Lake Chad region. Senior spokesperson of the World Food Programme, Elizabeth Bears, says the region remains among the most severe humanitarian crises in the world, with some 7.9 million, mainly women and children, in need of urgent assistance today. Needs are great nationally too, the UN agency has warned, linked to a steep drop in international oil prices, Nigeria's major export commodity, since the outbreak of the virus. More than 3.8 million people, mainly working in the informal sector, face losing their jobs amid rising hardship. And this could rise to 13 million if movement restrictions continue for a longer period. The media office of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, has denied that there is tension brewing between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Rauf Aregbesola, the current Minister of Interior. This statement was made to put an end to an online media report misinterpreting the dissolution of all factional groups within the APC in Lagos State. In a statement issued, the disbandment of factional groups within the party was to promote discipline, harmony, and cohesion aimed at engendering party supremacy. As a result of this clarification, the APC is said to be united without any factions. Outside Nigeria, the Phoenix Police Department in Arizona announced it will no longer use the carotid control technique, more commonly known as a chokehold, as a fallout of the death of George Floyd and ensuing protests. And the American Civil Liberties Union and the Seattle area chapter of Black Lives Matter filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Seattle in an effort to immediately stop the use of chemical agents and projectiles on protesters. And that's it on the news updates for Wake Up Nigeria this morning. Now it's time for sports.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, with me here in the kitchen this morning is Chef Mary Jane.
Don't mind me. I had to wash my plates, so I just had to take off my gloves.
Gloves. All right, this morning we are making ukwa. Yes, it's an Igbo recipe. And so where are we?
Okay, so I made the ncha first, and then...
Let's talk about the ingredients quickly so that people just joining us
know what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made, this is shredded cassava.
Okay.
The same one we call abacha, tapioca and all that.
Okay.
Okay, so I made ncha. Ncha is a mixture of oil and potash, but this potash was ngo. Sorry.
What's cooking?
That's the okra porridge.
Oh, okay.
I made it. There is the okra is in it, the white okra, pepper, salt. 1 second.
Okay. Do you need me to help you out with anything?
Not at all.
Okay.
So we have pepper, we have crayfish, we have stockfish. That's the aroma you can get. So and some red oil. So I'm going to be mixing this with this to give me that same.
Okay, so let's take it one step at a time, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we boiled our ukwa, yes?
boiled it soft.
Okay.
Okay.
And then?
Then I made it like pottage, the same way you make your pottage beans.
Okay.
But I added stockfish to it, crayfish, pepper, and red oil.
Okay.
Salt, seasoning cube,
Okay.
like normal porridge beans. So I have in here the
dried tapioca.
Yes, and I made ncha. I mixed it with ncha.
That's potash.
Potash and palm oil.
Okay.
Okay, so right now I'm going to be mixing the both of them to give me that particular special
taste.
Festive. Wait first, wait, let's finish this thing first.
All right, so right now we are mixing our
both.
potash with...
No.
Sorry,
we are
our
mixing
okra.
the okra with our tapioca that's had potash in it. I've told you before I leave here, you have to tell me what the name is. Unless if I have
to be the one to tell you.
As I said, it was something my mom always made when we had an event in my house.
Okay.
And I don't know how, anyway. Let's just go ahead.
Okay, so how often is this meal made in Igbo land? Because it seems like a really festive meal.
Yes, as I said, it's only when there is a party, not just a party, a celebration, let's say a new child, a promotion.
Oh, wow.
It's really festive, especially when the women are trying to celebrate their men.
Okay.
So this really comes up.
Okay.
Then there was something else you asked me.
About the tapioca?
Okay. Now, there are two ways you can make this. You can actually use tapioca or you use boiled corn.
Boiled corn, okay.
Yes, you can actually make it that way. This is more filling because of the tapioca.
And it looks healthy.
Yeah, very, very.
I mean, I know that potash has some really amazing health benefits.
Ukwa is, I've always heard, 60 times more proteinous than
your beans.
Normal beans. So let me not go local, but as local as it is, 1 derica of beans is 250 naira or 300 naira.
Okay.
But this is 600
naira.
So you could imagine why is this so expensive? But when you look at the nutritive value, you understand where it's
why
coming
it's expensive.
from.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so right now is done. We're about to serve. Not forgetting that we still have the white okra. The original white one is
so we're going to mix that in?
No. This is going to be served as a side.
Oh, it's like having rice and beans?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's going to be served as a side.
Okay.
And this is also a syrup. It's also going to be served as a side.
You know, I'm to be candid, I'm really looking forward to this meal. I've never had this before.
I haven't finished.
Oh, okay.
I have not finished.
Oh, we're not done, okay.
There is still our sauce that we made with mangala fish.
Okay, so can you tell us how you made that sauce?
Okay, I just made stew, normal sauce for stew, and then washed the mangala with warm water to remove any form of dirt and sand, and then cooked it with it. The difference is that because it's mangala, your sauce is not going to, the aroma is not like your normal sauce. It's a little more
local,
homemade, refined Nigerian home. You know, there are different kinds of homes.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that. But, okay.
So I'm done with cooking right now, and the next thing we're going to be doing is serving.
So basically, ukwa is like making abacha. I mean, it's the same process.
No. The difference with abacha is all the spices for abacha it's not going in here. Abacha comes with some spices, some vegetables that come with it. Okay. But this one, no. It just ended with pouring just the potash, the oil. What that potash and oil did was helping it to rhyme. If you notice, it's rhyme. It's not really...
the difference between the okwa and the tapioca is not much.
So it rhymed it and... this exam you gave me.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that
question. Okay. Anyway, it made it rhyme. If you add any other thing to it, you would just kill the whole idea. I can't wait for you to taste this.
I can't wait to taste it myself.
Today you're going to tell me, you ate okwa, but the variation of the okwa, you're not very sure its name. Okay, so that's about it. So another fantastic thing about it is the plating. It's not just served. When you're serving a king, you know that kings has this one. You shook hand here, shook hand there. So the plating is going to be very, very important, and we're going to fix the plating.
All right. I mean, amazing stuff happening here in the kitchen, guys. Like, no jokes. Like, Chef Mary Jane did not come here to play today. She said, today, you people on Wake Up Nigeria, you will see me. All right, so our ukwa is ready, and we're going to serve it in a bit. And I know that Titi was out just before the lockdown. She went to a pet expert, and how did that go, Titi? Tell us about it.
It was really interesting. It's the Posh Paws Giants Veterinary Clinic in Ajah. It's a really huge place. All sorts of different types of animals there. But then there were some really well-tended to monkeys there as well. And, you know, it's really interesting seeing them in a place where they're all clean and tidy, not the local ones you see at parks and maybe at the beach. These were really, really great ones, and they're recommended as pets. So this is what I was up to. Hi guys, welcome once again to the pet segment on Wake Up Nigeria. Once again, we're coming to you live from the Posh Paws Giants Veterinary Clinic in Ajah, Lagos. And well, hey, by now you know I just love animals. And today with me I have Kenny Anachuna. He's a pet consultant and animal enthusiast. He's especially enthusiastic about monkeys. Yes, you heard me right, monkeys. Hi, Kenny.
Welcome.
All right, so most people think of monkeys as completely wild animals. Are you gonna sit here and tell me that I can have a monkey as a pet?
I'm going to tell you you can have a monkey as a pet. Not in every country, you do need a permit to have these monkeys. And in the country, we can have a monkey here as a pet. But they are wild animals, and they branch into different groups.
Okay.
Like, there's some monkeys that you can have and some that you can't, that can't be domesticated.
Okay.
So we're just focusing on the ones that you can have as pets.
All right, so which ones are we gonna see today?
We're gonna see a baboon and we're gonna see Muna monkeys today.
All right, so a baboon could be a pet?
It can be a pet, yes.
And the Muna monkeys as well. They're a little smaller, right?
They're smaller, and that's what makes them ideal as pets, especially in the house. Because most monkeys grow really big, and you can't, that's another reason why you can't have them moving around the house. And the monkeys are smart, they're almost as smart as humans. So the way you train them is completely different, and having smaller monkeys in the house is more ideal, especially to pet owners or anyone that wants to get a monkey as a pet.
And so what sort of monkeys can we see here today?
We can see Muna monkeys here today, and those are the ones that can be domesticated. Like I said, not all monkeys can be domesticated, like mostly apes. Most apes can't be, especially because of their size, and they just don't work in the home.
All right.
And also some chimpanzees can actually be domesticated as well.
Why would I want to have a monkey as a pet?
So most people get pets to fill a hole in their lives, and they feel it's more, you know, just to have something around that they can care for. But the thing people need to understand about getting a monkey as a pet is that it's actually like getting a child. And that can fill other holes to people. It can do a lot of things. So the way you train a monkey is almost the same way you can go about a child, but it just never grows up.
Okay.
So that's what I can tell people who are considering or thinking about the idea of actually having a monkey as a pet.
All right, so you've made a reference to monkeys as being like children, but they don't eat exactly what humans eat. So what sort of food are we talking about?
So monkeys really like vegetables, or, you know, it's a stereotype that monkeys like bananas.
Yeah.
But it's more advisable to give them vegetables and fruits when they're around the house.
Okay.
That's what they usually eat most. That's what they enjoy eating. So that's what we usually feed them.
All
you
right.
can give them the banana, but yeah.
All right, so I love the idea of having a monkey, but it feels like a lot of work. Do you need to monitor them 24/7?
What you do and you don't, because it depends on how you want to have the monkey in the house. You can it's honestly like, it's very different from having any other pet. You don't go about it like dogs. It is like having a child. You potty train the monkey so it doesn't do its business around. You buy diapers for the monkey, the food that you put out for the monkey, and they're very smart, so they won't make some of the mistakes or just trashing everywhere like dogs do. Like, it's like having another child in the house. So that's also another reason why people look to get them, because they don't have that at the moment.
All right then. So if I visit a vet, what sort of checks should I look out for when I get there?
Now with monkeys, when you visit the vet is going to give a lot of vaccinations, because monkeys are notorious for having diseases. And they can carry a lot of diseases. That's the only downside, I would say, if you were to. It's a lot of responsibility. It's very expensive to maintain having those monkeys, and all the vaccinations you have to pay for. They can get monkeypox, they can get a lot of things, even tuberculosis as well. Such disease such as that, so you have to be careful with that too.
All right then. My last question would be, if I have young children around, do you think it's the best idea to have a monkey?
I think it is, because of how monkeys are, especially around us with kids. They're very good with kids because they're very playful. They understand things in a way that humans can understand. So it's not like playing with a dog where you're scared, okay, this dog could bite the kids. I don't know if to trust the dog around my kid. They're very playful, and kids are going to get on with that because they want something that's going to keep them, you know, reactive, and they're going to have fun with it. But it is a lot of responsibility, I will say.
All right then.
I can't see her. Hello? I can't see her.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mike, and you are Toju, right?
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you. Or speak
All
with
right.
you.
Good. Okay, so, okay, your frame is, okay, can you tilt your camera down a bit?
When you say down this way,
Okay.
or this?
No, down. Exactly. Perfect. So, we're talking about a third party in relationships, right?
Marriage, well, relationships, marriage more so, yes.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, to round up a day on relationship, we have teacher, trainer, and educator Toju, who is here today to talk to us about third parties in relationships, and also, of course, marriage, which is also a part of that. Hello, Toju. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well. And you?
I'm great. I'm good. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're talking about third parties in relationships and marriages and all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, so to clear out any sort of ambiguity, let's make it clear. What exactly do you mean by a third party in a relationship or a marriage?
All right. So a third party is basically any person, or it could be a thing, that has power or potential power to influence the decision-making or navigation of the course of the relationship or marriage, either on the side of both parties or just one party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like what you said. You said that has the power to influence. So you was saying now that if you are a party that cannot influence, I can't really take that as a third party per se.
Well, the person or the thing, as the case may be, can try, but if the person or thing has no influence over you, you are more unlikely to go with that decision. And so it wouldn't impact your relationship or marriage.
All right, so what are the most likely third parties that we see in relationships and marriages?
Well, unfortunately, there are usually people close enough to us because people close enough have the opportunity to influence us even more. So they could be friends, they could be parents, parents could be in-laws as well. And they could be books or things that we've listened to over time, even before we got married or got into the relationship.
Okay, so looking at it this way, let's get straight into it. Are there any advantages? If there are, can we know? And then what are the disadvantages of third parties in relationships?
Okay, so I'm not one of the people who would say absolutely no no's to third parties in relationships. I do understand and believe that when you're married, you become one, and there's a reason you have left your parents to become one and make all those decisions. However, I believe there are a couple of times when, especially in marriage, third party interference, I don't want to call it interference, influence, comes in. So number one, when you have an issue that keeps coming up over and over and over again, and you have both tried to talk about it, pray about it, dialogue about it, give it time and all of that, and it's still coming up, you might want to contact someone who you consider a mentor, someone better experienced in that field. Of course, if there's any case of abuse, as the case may be, you will need someone to step in so you don't suffer alone in silence. And there's just some perspectives that you do not have that you need someone else to see and help you with.
Okay, so you're saying that in some circumstances, a third party could actually be a pro, an advantage to a relationship.
Yes, but it's very important who this third party is.
Okay.
People would prescribe a neutral person, someone who doesn't even know you, so can be very objective about the matter, right? And on the other hand, sometimes I would prefer someone who knows me, so I know this person actually loves me and is concerned about me. However, the issue with that can be because this person is actually very connected to you, the person might not forget the issue long after you, the boyfriend or girlfriend, fiance, husband or wife, has forgotten about the issue, and might carry on that issue against your spouse when you yourself have forgiven and moved on from it. So it's very important that we get mature and trusted people, or just go for the option of someone who's totally neutral.
Who's totally neutral. Now, that is an optimal case. It is not that case at all times. In fact, to be said, we have, let's go straight, let's address some issues. For instance, a man who would tell you that, look, I was trained my whole life by my mom. My mom was there for me. Maybe my dad wasn't there. I grew up under my mom. She taught me this, and my wife can't just have the say over my mom and all of that. That is a very, very practical example that we see in a lot of lives. What happens in such a situation where a wife is, that kind of situation plays out? What happens there?
Okay, so this is where I would really talk to people who are not yet married, where you need to discuss the things that are most important, apart from what have you eaten this morning, what dress are you going to work today, and all of that. These are things that actually matter. So this is what, like I mentioned last week, talking about pre-decisions. What are we going to do if such a case should arise? You preempt these kind of things. And in your courtship, you would have seen the decision-making patterns of the man, and if he's dependent on third parties for making relationships. So if that has come up, you should already know that this is a sign. However, if you're already married and this is happening, you have to pray about it, I believe, dialogue as much as possible, and pray, because there's nothing God cannot do. And then if he has to talk to them, then maybe you, for your own emotional relief and mental sanity, can also talk to a third party that is trusted and see how you can meet him halfway.
All right. Now, let me put you into another scenario again. Another third party, which is very, very prevalent in these areas, is religious leaders, right? Religious leaders. We know it's happened, and a number of times they actually prove to actually be a wonderful kind of third party. But in this case, yes, we've seen cases where they're also human beings. They could also give advice that is not optimal. How do you deal with a case where a third party is a religious leader, either an imam, a pastor, or somebody you respect in your religious circles and all of that? How do you deal in those kind of issues if maybe the advice or the influence the person is giving at that time is not what you think that relationship or that marriage needs?
Okay, so this is a bit of a topic, but I'll try to be as brief as possible.
Please do.
First of all, I believe, as a person of faith, for example, I'm a Christian. I really believe that I need to study the Word of God for myself and know what it actually says. So if someone is guiding me, my pastor is guiding me or teaching me, it must correspond with the Word of God. So if I've not seen it in the Word, I shouldn't just go flying off with everything that he or she says. Like you have rightly said, sometimes they don't intentionally try to lead you astray. But that happens. So if I know the Word of God for myself, then that is good. Second of all, I must realize, wife or husband, that at the end of the day, my marriage is more important for me to focus on than what a religious leader has said. And usually sometimes it's one party, I don't want to say man or woman, running off with what the pastor has said. But what you agree in your marriage per time is what is more important. You shouldn't put the word of your husband or wife, put the word of the pastor or the imam over your husband and your wife. So those two things I think are very important.
All right, wonderful. So you're in that case where a religious person involved, I love what you just said, knowing it for yourself. But let me be a little bit more pragmatic and practical here. A lot of people depend on these people or on these leaders as the standard for the word of God. So you find it happens a lot where people feel that, look, this person has said it, God has said it. You know, let's look at that situation. So not many people are actually that way that you say they know it for themselves. You know, as a religious person, they tend to look up to these people as the standard in their religion.
Yeah. So again, for me, like the Bible will say, all flesh is grass at the end of the day. So Jesus is the one for us as Christians, and I guess you would have that in your own religion, who is our example, who is the perfection of God. And so everything he does is perfect. So while we can look to them to guide us, because the truth about it is that pastors, evangelists, teachers have been given to us as gifts, yes. But we must always weigh it in the light of Jesus or God, who is our perfect example. So I think really what you need to do is really know God for yourself, because at the end of the day, your pastor, your imam is not going to live with you in your house. If things go south, they're going to be in their own homes, and the best they can do is tell you story and keep praying for you. But you're the one that's going to be left to deal with the hurt and the brunt of it all. It really still boils down to you knowing God and making your own marriage, your own culture and responsibility, and not be dependent. It doesn't have to be a pastor. When you seek counsel, let the counselor counsel you and step back. And you also need to step back, take what they've said, do the work, and don't be dependent. Don't let it become an addiction.
All right, so I love what you're saying. To round up, we're saying that in any situation, the effect of third party is kind of relative. There are times when you can get it and use it, but at the end, it still depends on you. But it is necessary at times, and at some other times.
At times, but yes, at times.
All right, thank you very much, Tojo. It was quite. I love where you came from. Because we were talking about this earlier. Some people also put up posts on social media. There are a lot of people that believe in entirely no, but I think that what you've just said now, this video should be available, and people will understand that in some situations, it's actually necessary. Thank you very much, Tojo.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. I know you want to say something, but hey, sorry about that. We had to go. Of course, we've come to the end of the show. It's been a wonderful time. Okay. Somebody looking at me, Mike. You want to end the show, yeah? Yeah. So you think I can't end it here?
No.
The show has ended.
We have food here. We have food here that.
You do.
No, Mike is going to be very interested in.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that? You want to take a bet?
Yes.
Okay, you know what happens now?
What?
Okay, let me come join you guys there now. MM just joined us after a long time. I miss her. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss MM.
Really?
So yeah.
I am touched.
Yeah.
I am touched. All right, guys.
This is not dog meat, MM. So don't bring back February. So you might not get that ecstatic feeling you had.
Trust me, that feeling is undescribable. All right. So guys, welcome to the kitchen. This is Chef Mary Jane, and of course, she has tantalized us this morning.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Look at this.
Just look at that.
This is okra.
Mm-hmm. With, what's the other one again?
It's all okra, actually.
Actually, everything here is okra.
Yeah, it's all okra.
Yes, this is okra. the white one. Okay. This is a syrup. This is the pottage one mixed with shredded cassava, what you call the tapioca.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I made a sauce for it with mangala fish and...
What's mangala?
Mangala.
It's a kind of...
It's not scumbia.
But you know sukumbia.
Of course.
If it's not this thing, I'll have just giving you a hug from here.
All right, so
don't mind that one
there.
there.
Taste this food.
MM is
so
testing
who is
it.
going to taste this
MM is testing it.
Okay.
MM is testing it.
Let me do the hands, please. Everyone, Thank you very much. We are observing physical distancing.
Okay, just go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to start with, I'm not going to lie, Shaft. I tested it a bit earlier.
All right, so what is it? What's so unique about this? Talk to us.
You know, this is not similar to the dog meat recipe, but
where did Michael bring that from?
But but it actually tastes very good. It's really good. Yeah. I mean, it's like eating beans. It has this local feel. Okay. Very tasty, very nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you can try this at home. We'll put out that video. You'll see most of the video from what Mary Jane did. You can also check out our social media handles. What's it, Mary Jane?
Cadin support.
Cadin support. So you can try this. You should try this at home. That's the idea.
But we have to warn you about Cadin support page. When you get there and you're hungry, you know, your stomach might just start, you know, rumbling. So, you know, take care.
But well done.
But
well done,
we would love to see your videos of you making this at home. Just make sure you post it online and use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
It's been a wonderful time. Thank you to all our guests who tuned in, told you and all the rest. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Bye-bye.
Bye.